is going to tell Tyler Perry that Black women are no longer suffering.
Grateful for this person for showing me how not to be.
You know, Tyler Perry didn't just pull this out of the sky. These women exist, these people exist, and they need to see themselves.
Taraji P. Henson just stirred up a heated conversation around Tyler Perry, and it's got Black women everywhere reacting. For years, Perry has been known for creating films where Black women seem to endure relentless suffering. From being assaulted, cheated on, beaten down, humiliated, and emotionally shattered, the women in his stories often only find redemption through a struggling blue-collar man who appears to save the day at the very last moment. The same formula keeps showing up: a Black woman at rock bottom, barely surviving, only to find a sliver of hope through love or faith, but always after immense trauma. So why is Taraji defending him, even as she admits that these roles leave her emotionally drained? Many fans and critics feel like watching a Tyler Perry movie is like sitting through a horror film designed to spotlight Black women's pain. His latest project, The Straw, starring Taraji herself, is no exception. After the trailer dropped, many Black women online expressed their disappointment and offense, pointing out that they're tired of seeing themselves represented this way. Within the first 30 minutes of the movie, Taraji's character faces eviction, job loss, her child being taken by CPS, her car getting impounded, being robbed, committing a murder, and robbing a bank. For many, this feels less like storytelling and more like trauma porn dressed up as empowerment. Across Perry's filmography, similar themes appear. In Temptation, a woman cheats once and ends up contracting HIV. In Acrimony, Taraji's character gives everything to a man who abandons her the moment he finds success, leaving her to die alone and humiliated. In Why Did I Get Married, another character endures emotional abuse tied to her weight, only finding love after she loses weight, while another woman is portrayed as perpetually angry and emasculating. These portrayals have led many to conclude that Perry's depiction of Black women lacks nuance and compassion. Taraji, however, has remained loyal in her defense. In interviews, she's explained that these characters exist in real life, and showing their stories helps them feel seen. To her, these portrayals reflect real women she's known or heard about. She's expressed that the backlash may be less about Perry's films and more about audiences being triggered by their own unresolved traumas. Taraji has long gravitated toward playing broken women who lack a voice. She said she feels called to breathe life into these characters, to give them a platform they wouldn't otherwise have. But while Taraji focuses on the artistic side, Perry's name continues to get dragged online for his perceived obsession with Black women's pain. This recent round of backlash isn't just about the films either. Actor Derek Dixon recently filed a lawsuit against Perry, accusing him of harassment and exploitation on the set of The Oval. According to the lawsuit, Perry allegedly pinned Dixon to a trailer wall, touched him inappropriately, and interrogated him about his sexuality. When Dixon rejected him, Perry allegedly retaliated by killing off his character from the show. Perry's legal team has since denied the allegations, calling the lawsuit a shakedown attempt. However, this isn't the first time Perry's been accused of creating a toxic work environment. Several actors who've worked for him describe being intimidated and forced to comply with last-minute script changes. Perry often rewrites entire episodes on the spot, leaving cast members scrambling to learn new lines moments before filming. He's admitted to being controlling, acknowledging that his vision usually overrides everyone else's on set, because he also controls the editing process. Critics argue that this tight grip is exactly why his films continue to push the same worn-out narrative. With no room for fresh voices or perspectives, his projects often reflect only his point of view. Christian Keyes, another actor who worked with Perry, has publicly stated that Perry's leadership style taught him how not to treat people when he becomes the boss. Meanwhile, Taraji continues to praise Perry. She's openly said that he pays her well, in contrast to the industry's long history of underpaying Black actresses. In fact, Perry doubled her salary for her role in The Straw. This matters to Taraji, especially after years of fighting for fair pay and publicly speaking out about being undervalued in Hollywood. But there's still a painful irony at play. While Tyler Perry writes her checks, she admits that filming these trauma-heavy roles leaves her emotionally exhausted. She's spoken about the emotional toll of repeatedly reopening her own wounds to portray these characters convincingly. Despite that, she remains loyal to Perry's vision, seeing it as her mission to give life to women who otherwise remain invisible. Yet many Black women are questioning the cost of this visibility. The overwhelming consensus online is that most Black women today are not living in constant pain and struggle. Instead, many are embracing ease, softness, luxury, therapy, and healing. The community wants new representations, stories of joy, success, love, and laughter without the prerequisite of trauma. Critics warn that continually showcasing Black women as broken and bitter teaches damaging lessons, not just to the world, but to young Black girls growing up with these images as their primary reflection. It reinforces the idea that Black women must suffer endlessly before they're allowed happiness. Perry often gives his male characters redemption arcs, even after they've been abusive or toxic. The blue-collar savior trope shows up time and time again. Yet, the women rarely get that same narrative grace unless it's through hardship and tears. Even popular culture has started parodying Perry's formula, with shows like The Boondocks mocking his predictable storylines centered around light-skinned male saviors and suffering dark-skinned women. Some fans go as far as blaming the media for allowing such limited, derogatory portrayals of Black women to dominate screens. They point out that while women like Beyoncé, Oprah, and Kerry Washington represent success and joy, everyday Black women still get stuck with these one-dimensional characters whenever Perry is at the helm. Black Twitter hasn't held back. Many users say the Black community is in a toxic relationship with Tyler Perry, and it's time to let him go. Reddit threads echo the sentiment, with people criticizing his shows and movies as embarrassing and filled with harmful stereotypes. There's also the long-standing Monique drama lingering in the background. Monique has been vocal for over a decade about how she believes Tyler Perry blackballed her after she refused to promote Precious for free overseas. According to her, the fallout cost her millions, and even now she wants public accountability and financial compensation. What makes things even messier is that Monique was originally offered the iconic role of Cookie on Empire, but the offer was rescinded. Rumors swirled that Perry pulled strings behind the scenes, and the role eventually went to Taraji. Now, with Taraji defending Perry during his latest legal scandal, Monique's frustration is boiling over again. The current lawsuit against Perry alleges inappropriate touching and abuse of power, including an incident where Perry reportedly assaulted Dixon in his home. Monique wasted no time throwing shade online, posting cryptic messages that fans quickly interpreted as digs at Perry. In recent weeks, she's doubled down, reminding people that women who stand up for themselves in this industry often get labeled as difficult, bitter, or toxic. As Taraji continues promoting The Straw and standing beside Perry, the backlash shows no signs of slowing down. Perry, for his part, seems unmoved by the criticism. He maintains that he's honoring Black women's resilience, drawing inspiration from his mother, sisters, and the women in his life. Still, many feel that Perry's version of honoring Black women looks a lot like humiliating them for profit. The idea that Black women should feel grateful for a man who only contributes to household bills in small ways, while expecting them to carry the emotional and financial weight, rubbed many people the wrong way. Social media lit up with people questioning why women are constantly expected to settle, to accept less, while being told they should be grateful for the bare minimum. The broader question remains: how long will this narrative continue? At what point will we start seeing more joyful, multidimensional portrayals of Black women that don't start and end with pain? And will Taraji's loyalty to Perry come at a deeper cost to how Black women see themselves on screen?